we are in a momentous period in time. Either there is a big shift in consciousness, a great turning, a big step in evolution, or there is total destruction, total catastrophe. There's no in between.
We are in turbulent times. We must buckle up and acknowledge the fact that we've done some serious damage to the planet. I'm not pointing fingers, but let's change course.
There's a race of humans to take a stand and act. We are called to cut our level of consumption, to create sustainable ways of living and to live sustainably. When I was quite young, I had the idea to come to a land like this. This dream is realized, but only now I am totally understanding the immensity of the situation. That it was not just a personal dream for me to realize, it's a very important step humanity has to take. I came here 9 years back and we started to live after making an open well in a single hut, a place where a different way of life is being lived. Ananda Vanam means the forest of bliss. People were calling it Ananda Farm, and then it really meant that we are farming bliss here. That the only condition for people to be here is that they are happy. Most of the time it happens naturally. So everybody who comes here goes through a big process, not only facilitated by this land but by this incredible location. One of the key aims is to be a model in which young people can come and understand a different alternative way of life.
This place is incredible for it being at the foothills of Arunachala, which is a holy mountain. The presence that this mountain brings that sets you in place.
I learned about this place from a friend that I met. He told me about the sense of community, was the environmental side, the artistic, creative side.
People are living a sense of community which is different from the individualistic idea of life, a certain deeper awareness of oneself. Very beautiful rhythm happening now. People are waking up before dawn and coming together in the sacred fire circle to do yoga asanas.
Yoga is a practice of self-discipline to achieve more of your individual potential. It really is just like a lifestyle. And within those poses, the key is to breathe as deliberately and as meditatively as possible. This is a very ancient practice that and the traditions are, it's important for me. I think it's important to honor them and preserve them. I see yoga as a very important thing to share now more than ever too. I've been teaching here at 5:30 in the morning every day, and then we bring the left toes in, the hips come all the way forward, opposite hand comes onto the shin or the knee. That's also new for me. I've never done that before, so I'm growing in that process too. This is cultivating a new normal.
Everybody goes into working in the land. One of the key projects which is happening is the permaculture garden. and we are trying to grow more and more quantity of vegetables, and we are trying to make it more and more self-sufficient and sustainable. Then we are having vegetable gardens, which is mostly initiated by Aruna and Nitya, the two boys who are living here. And also now Titwan has started making his own permaculture patch.
To have this amount of trust placed in you, lead projects in a garden, it's super valuable. Cool. And to be able, for me, who's got a lot of readings, a lot of information, to be able to put them into practice, it's such an opportunity, you know. First project, first design. Super happy about it. And everybody seems to find it beautiful. This bed here, the goal of this mulch is that they aerate the soil, so we don't need to till. The only way is just to work the soil, which we don't want to do because you kill the life inside the soil. Yeah. And then you put fertilizer to bring back the life in the soil. Doesn't make sense. Stones are for several reasons. You want to put them to prevent from the soil to run off. It can hold water, can hold heat, and release it whenever. I don't want very much fixed and decided plan of what we grow because I want as much diversity as possible. If you put things together that have different properties and that have different needs, you have a lot more chances to have a stable soil balanced ecosystem. And diversity is one of the key points here of permaculture, because your whole system is more resilient when it's more diverse, just like forests, right? With permaculture is to get closer to nature and as much as possible to avoid disturbance to nature. Go with it instead of go against it.
Stop doing so much in terms of pesticides, in terms of weeding, tilling, pruning. Just do less and let nature do the course, and just do very intelligent design and planting.
After working in the permaculture garden, people get together to cook food, make salads, cook dishes. Important motivation has been food. Growing your own food is very vital, and we started to focus more and more on producing food.
But growing your own food is the most politically radical thing you could do right now.
All around you see fruit trees. There are 15 varieties of fruit trees, including mango and coconut, jackfruit, papaya.
Spiritual practice to cook, to like take a raw material and wash it. And then create something totally new. And a lot of times it's something you've never made before.
There is some time for creative activities, because we are giving a lot of stress to individual creative activities like writing, painting, photography. It's a very important part of life, because we have neglected our creative instincts, and that brings in many negative instincts. So creative side is also very much part of life here.
l'infini qui t'éveille aux merveilles de la terre qui t'attend et t'appelle. Tu auras tant de choses à voir pour franchir la frontière du savoir. Étudier l'héritage qui vient du fond des âges dans l'harmonie d'une chaîne d'amour. L'histoire de la vie, un cycle éternel, un enfant béni, immortel, la ronde infinie de ce cycle éternel. C'est l'histoire, l'histoire de la vie.
In the evening we gather together for meditation by sitting for some time in silence, sitting together as a group and then sharing our experiences of the time we spent together. And we understand meditation not as sitting and doing some sort of breathing, but we are trying to bring a meditative way of being, a meditative consciousness to our 24 hours of daily life.
It's not a contest. It's not about who can meditate the longest or the best or the hardest. But we're doing so much, we need to be more. And I think this fits in perfect with the idea of meditation.
But doing meditation itself is very difficult because we have more important or more pressing things to do, so we don't have time to even do meditation. So even the people who find the time to do meditation, it's very difficult. Doing a 10 minutes meditation in the morning and 10 minutes in the evening open the door to being meditative through the day. It is making our life more peaceful, joyful, meditative. And we realize that we are here together in community, living together and taking part in various activities. It's all part of the great shift of consciousness which is happening at a planetary level, but it's happening at an individual level for each of us. And through these years, many people have been coming here and staying with us, and this land has inspired many young people to look at a different model of life, to look at different possibilities, to look at the possibility of coming out of the system and carving a new life in their own niche. It's not easy. It's very, very difficult to come out and set up your life. And it's very challenging. Individuals feel helpless when they see the whole macro situation. What can they do at the micro level? So this is a particular point where this place has relevance. It's very understandable that young people are totally frustrated and angry in these turbulent times. What does anger, what does frustration really bring? If we want to bring happiness, if we want to bring peace, anger and being upset cannot bring it. We have to get out of this violence. The system is violent and the individual reacts by becoming violent, angry and reacting violently. We have to get out of this cycle of violence. It has to start with oneself and it has to extend to communities. And these communities can mushroom all over the world and the change can come from the ground level. It don't need to be acting from the top. Even if we change a elected representative, the system is not going to change because the system is quite entrenched. So the change has to come because sufficient number of people from the ground level are reaching a certain mass where you cross a threshold and suddenly and people are very clear that something new has to emerge.
me to make a documentary about this place. Me and Kai are gonna work on it. Just got bitten by some ant. That's so painful. SOS, I need help. Doctor, I need a doctor.
So we get used to it, and everybody get used to talking and the camera is on and we are not conscious of the camera being on. So that sort of informality the camera should capture. Otherwise it won't be really...
Yeah, let's do this one.
You get the mountain.
Yeah, it looks really good with the mountain.
Shall I sit?
Yeah. Sit.
Obnoxious for whoever's going to be watching this video later to be watching me just do this over and over. Not very well. I must say this is the first time that I'm making
Pesto.
second time we're making pesto from scratch. First time was in Florida. Shout out to my boy Enrique.
Oh my god! Make a video, please! Make a video!
It's like the least interesting thing to film ever.
Now we got it on tape. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
TMZ.
Reporting live from Hollywood.
Seriously. Nice.
No you answer. No you answer. It's on camera, on tape. YouTube. There's this thing, but it's more of a sect movement. People who think that eating and drinking is just a scam from corporations. That you don't need that, you just need the power of the sun. And then you die, but at least you followed your condition.